Sending down sentry.
And finally, Cool the Man 9765, we got the Diligence Family video. If you guys want to see something, leave it down in the comments down below and I'll be sure to cover it. Hey guys, it's the Gundam Boy, and today we're gonna do a guide on one of the small weapon families, the Diligence Family. So, in my usual videos, we cover a lot of tank busting, wall breaking, ball busting weapons with a focus on heavy units, but in this video we're gonna swing to the other side and focus primarily on the chaff. And the footage will be displaying combat missions that are set on level 4 difficulty, not because I'm a pussy or anything, but so that you can see the effectiveness of the weapon. And yes, I included the Constitution because I'm not too sure, but I think that number and code may imply that it's an ancient relative to the Diligence and Counter Sniper. So we're gonna look at some of the stats. We have a damage of 165, capacity of 20, recoil of 35, and a fire rate of 350. This Diligence is the light pen variant. Next up we have my personal favorite, the Counter Sniper, with a damage of 200, capacity of 15, recoil of 53, and a fire rate of 350, and this is the medium pen variant. And now we have great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa's rifle, the Constitution, with a damage of 180, capacity of 5, recoil of 43, and a fire rate of 60. It has medium armor penetrating, and it's one of the few rifles to have round reloading. And one thing to note is that these guns will typically one-shot all of the lightest chaff units. Shit, I could shoot these guys in the foot by accident and they'll die, so. The only difference being that I can do a bayonet charge with the Constitution. All three of these guns will lobotomize any Devastator that you land a headshot on. But for the normal Diligence, be sure to follow up on your shots because you might miss. All of these guns have no problem taking down Berserkers, but I would say that it's a lot easier to land the shots on headshots if you're using the Diligence and the Constitution. But the Diligence, Counter Sniper, and the Constitution are capable of taking down Striders, as you can shoot them in the waist, but I'd rather throw a grenade at them if I'm using the Constitution. Making this video, I'm kind of realizing there's not that much differences between these three guns, because even against the bugs, most of the chaff enemies will die pretty quickly in a couple of shots, and some of them die in 1 or 3, depending on how accurate you are. I'm kind of realizing that we're having a lack in variety for our marksman rifles. Then we have the Liberators with their 5 variants. Against the Illuminate, these guns are great for singling out those heavier, annoying Overseer units, but I think the Constitution still falls behind. And once the Hordes start coming, you will definitely start to struggle, as there is too many enemies for you to shoot at with this kind of gun. But there is a difference between how the guns feel. Sure, they don't really feel too different when it comes to killing things, but the utility of each gun's much more different. I like to think that the Diligence is the absolute baseline, the most generic you can get for a marksman rifle. So we're gonna look at how it feels, because that's very important to every marksman. This gun handles pretty well. I mean, I can look left and right as fast as I want, and that reticle will snap right to where I'm looking in an instant. Even in first person, looking around with this gun is pretty easy to lock your targets. And when it comes against firing, you can see that when you full fire it, this gun is pretty accurate despite how far it weaves. But it's not a full auto gun. If you want full auto, use a But getting on one knee and firing like you're actually trying to hit something, you can say that this gun doesn't take too long to realign the shot. Going to the scope options, we have set to 25 meters, set to 75, and we have 150. And if you're the friend of that one dude who's always trying to get a girlfriend, you probably need a heavier option to help him get those super samples. And boy, is this gun heavy. There's a lot more, trailing with this gun when it comes to turning. When you look left and right, you'll visibly notice that it is slow to turn. But at the distances you'll be using this gun at, I don't think the sway will really matter too much when it comes to looking far left or right. When it comes to firing this gun at full speed, you will see that the recoil is quite noticeable. If you're firing this thing as fast as you can, you will realize you'll be fighting the recoil trying to aim your next shot. But when you take this gun nice and slow and use your time to actually aim, you will see that this gun isn't too bad on the recoil side. Just a bit of a kick before your next shot. So we're gonna start looking at aims at 50 meters. Now we have it at 100 meters, And then we have 200 meters. This gun is my personal favorite for just ripping the heads off of enemies. The amount of times I've killed these machine gun units shooting down teammates, it's just so satisfying to know you can pick them off beyond range. Boo. Sorry for scaring you, but now we're gonna go to the Constitution. Possibly the gun with the best handling out of them all, this thing has no problem flicking left and right. It's an instant snap to whatever direction you're gonna look at. Which is fair, because it's a fucking iron sight. Look at this keyhole, I can't see through that. Now that I got my grandpa glasses on, let's look at the reload. You can also interrupt this reload since it's round reload, meaning you could put like 3 bullets in and still shoot it. Following up shots with this gun is a little strange if you're trying to button mash it as fast as you can, because you would need to realign your sight before you shoot again. So we have the Diligence, Counter Sniper, and the Constitution. The only 3 marksman rifles we have currently. And I'm sorry that this video is kind of formatted in such a weird way. I didn't want to give you guys 20 minutes of watching me shoot the same bugs and automatons and squids with the similar gun from each party. I figured this would be an easier way to squeeze it all down. Maybe when I do the Breaker family, it will be much better because that is actually where you have more differences in their guns. But I will see you guys later, and the next video is going to be on the Spear.